Hello. Thanks for joining me today, Jenn and Nicole. It's so great to see you.
Thank you.
And whoever is watching, welcome to a showing of Vintage JFD. We are really happy to show you a piece today from 2002. And this is a very special piece for me, and especially for this wonderful cast of 6 incredible dancers that were so instrumental in making the piece happen. So I know a lot has happened since 2002. So I think let's just see what Nicole and Jenn have to share with us about that. And I'm going to go ahead and change the screen formation here just a little bit. And Jenn, do you want to go first and just tell us a little bit about what you're up to these days?
Yeah. I have an 8-year-old daughter, and we recently moved from Washington, D.C. to Springfield, Virginia. So we've been sort of settling in and dealing with virtual school and working from home and all of that craziness as everyone has. So it's been a while since I've seen you and Nicole. So it's really nice to sort of catch up.
Great. And Nicole, you want to tell everybody a little bit about what's going on with you right now?
Sure. I'm signing in from Brooklyn, New York. And, it's interesting because Jenn and I have been friends for 20 years and in each other's life, thanks to Jane Franklin Dance. And so she has visited me many places that I've lived, and I've been back to DC to see her as well. So that's a nice, it's a nice connection about today's grouping. These days I have made a transition from teaching dance to teaching visual art, and I'm a painter and an elementary school art teacher primarily. And I still do some dancing, but right now, due to the pandemic, like everyone else, we can't be in class. So I've been taking some Zoom dances here in my work room, some Zoom classes. But other than that, the dance stuff is a little bit on hold for the time being. So it's nice to have this opportunity to at least see ourselves dance from the past today.
Right. And I was curious about your memories about the name of the piece is Ring, and about your memories about bringing that piece together.
Yeah, it actually holds a really strong place for me, and it was sort of a changing time for me. And it was one of the first pieces with Jane Franklin Dance when I joined the company, and Nicole and I joined same time. And the process was it was so nice to collaborate with the dancers and with you, Jane, and to create some movement. And then on top of that, to work with the artist pieces. There's bamboo pieces that are just really creative, fun, challenging at times to work with. So it was really fun to collaborate that way.
Right. And our visual artist, Brees Honeycutt, was, I'm not sure if Brees is still in the area, but I had done a project with her previously before this piece, and kind of this one came together due in part to her trip to Southeast Asia. So Nicole, do you have anything you want to add about those props?
Yeah, unlike Jenn, who's really great at remembering material, I, generally speaking, as a dancer, don't have a long muscle memory. But the exception is probably this piece and the music, the water puppets music. They're like, if I were to hear the opening note, I would want to take a round object and dig it down and do that sequence. And I feel like I could almost approximate what that would be 20 years later, because it just was a very strong memory for me as well.
Yeah, I agree. It was for me as well. So First off, anybody who's watching, you can put a comment in the chat, and after we see the piece, we can talk a little bit more and answer any questions or just discuss whatever you'd like to. So please do hang around, but we'll go ahead and show you Ring right now, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this will be a smooth transition into seeing this piece. So here we go with this showing of Ring. Okay.
Nice to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great to see it again. And like Nicole was mentioning earlier, almost have that feeling of what that movement was as I watched you all do it. Let me see. I have a comment here. I'll see if, oh, that was from my husband, Michael. He says, nice. Greatly appreciated. So we were chatting just a little bit before the show started today about the rehearsal process. And I just wanted to come back to that a little bit and just hear what you all had to say about that. Nicole, what do you remember?
Well, there was also, in addition to, in the other part of Skate Vietnam that wasn't just featured in Ring, there was another set of props that were like wings, but we called them the waffle fries because the bamboo was like, you know, woven. And it just was so interesting to use all of the different structures once we had something. It was very challenging, as Jen mentioned, when we were figuring out, when the artist gave us a bunch of bamboo structures and we were figuring out what might work and what we could do with them and what hurts and, you know, all of the different variations. And I wondered, Jane, I don't remember this, but were there objects that Breeze brought to you that we ended up not using?
That could possibly be true. You're right, though, Nicole. The piece did have several sections to it.
Mhm.
One of which, actually, and you guys will probably remember this now. We had kids in one section,
Oh, yeah.
and my daughter was in one section now. And I mentioned that to her a while ago that we were going to be showing this. So that is a section I need to find yet. That section with the kids, because we had that one section with the kids, and each of the six main performers had
Yeah,
a younger person that they danced with.
that's
Um,
right.
yeah. And we got a nice mention here from Stacy Teitler-Rab, who actually, Stacy came after both of you had left the company, and she did learn and perform
Ring.
Ring before. So Jen, how about you? What do you remember about that whole rehearsal?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I remember and seeing it again just brought it out more was, in particular, practicing creating movement with the rings, but then we decided to use the same movement without the rings.
Mm.
And it was very challenging to try, especially the partnering sections where you're with someone else trying to figure out how to do it without the rings, but sort of maintain some of the sort of feel of it. And the other thing I thought is that it even though it was sort of the same movement with rings and without, it really looks so different when you're doing it, different ways. And I also remember a lot the various different sort of partnering, whether it's a trio or duets, and some of it was, the same trios together and just trying to get the feel of those so that when we were supposed to be in unison, we were. And I thought the music really helped us too. I think we all sort of really connected with the music, and then what made it even better is we connected with each other, and that made a huge difference in creating the movement.
Yeah, it's an incredible cast of people. Alex Short, Malcolm Shute, and Jessica Marchant, Stephanie Quinones Bass, and the two of you. And it was just like an ideal cast, I think. Just a wonderful group of people who could work so well together. And we have a comment here from Peg Schaefer.
Oh, hi, Peg.
She says, so nice to see it again. Thank you, Peg. I'm glad you could see it. And as I mentioned before, if you have friends who want to see it, it'll be up on our Facebook videos. So if they couldn't be here today for one reason or other, it'll stay up there. I've just been leaving these up there. And what I've been have started to do is on Vimeo on Demand, we have a vintage JFD page. I've been trying to change it every month, trying to get out some of the works that haven't been seen for a while, because as you all know, these works are done and then they're not seen really by that many people. And these wonderful dancers work so hard to bring them to life. And part of the reason, my motive behind putting it on Facebook Live, is just to have more eyes be able to see these pieces before they disappear in digital netherworld or something.
I also think it's special because, like, Jen's daughter can watch this, and see her mom dance in another time in her life that she wasn't around for. And my partner's in the other room watching it. And, that's a special thing. And like you said, your daughter, Jane, who's an adult now, she was a child in this. So I think that's a nice thing about bringing back old work.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And there's many more I want to be able to show. So for whoever wants to forbear, I will keep doing this, because I have had the good fortune of working with many, many wonderfully talented dancers, musicians, and artists over the years. And I would really like to honor that, especially as I'm reaching here the end of my career. And So it's meant all so much. And like you said, Jen, it just seems like it was 5 minutes ago.
It is strange because, you know, I haven't danced in a little while, and except for with my daughter, and we have done some modern dance together just in our house. And so that's been fun. And we've watched actually from the website anything that we could find that might still be there from my times. So it's really nice to be able to share that experience. I remember we also did this outside at Lover Run, and it was a really just beautiful experience because it has such a nature feel. It connects, I think it's very grounded and I think being outside and having it be very expansive, it made it feel even more special.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. That was at Lubber Run. Oh, and Peg also says that this was the first JFD performance she saw. Oh, yeah, and it was performed at Gunston Theater too. The lighting designer was Stephen Johnson. I remember he took a great deal of trouble with the bamboo effect on the cyc or scrim. Yeah.
I have to say, I was thinking about that, about Stefan's lighting and the costumes, and that, like, now looking at this through my acquired artist eyes, things that were in the piece just practical, like the little crosshatch stand that we put the rings on. To us, that stand as an object was like not even on our radar. It was just like a place that you put the thing that didn't look bad. But now, from the outside, being able to see the whole thing, it's like, oh, that's an art object that's part of the visual landscape of this the whole time, when I'm not being somebody that needs it to do something logistical, and the costumes really look great. The lighting looks great. There's definitely like a wholeness of the atmosphere that you created, Jane, with this piece.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. Well, we were all in it together. It was definitely a wonderful group of people to work with, and like I mentioned earlier, it's every piece, or there's certain pieces that just have a real element of magic to them, and the right people coming together in all kinds of ways, whether music, dancers, and so on. And it's always those moments of magic that you keep looking for, I think, over and over. So you two have a very special place in my life. You always will. And hopefully I will be able to unearth some more pieces that you were in. One that I remember was we did some different locations in around Virginia, and there was one we did about Crystal City. I remember Ray Nywek coming out with us and taking pictures in the street, and
I remember that too.
Yeah.
The other piece that I remember a lot was the jazz piece where we had the mint colored tops and the purple pants. I remember being in that with Jesse, and it was jazz music.
Okay.
Was it? Was Le Soleil in it? And at that point,
could have been.
Yeah, there might have been later.
We did it at the college that Stephanie went to in Virginia.
Oh gosh.
Okay, Nicole.
You've got a good memory.
Either that, or I'm missing some parts.
Yeah.
Well, I was also thinking about Ring. We did this one a lot. We did it at Dance Place. We did it for a dance festival down in Richmond. Neither one of you were in the cast when I took that version to Richmond. We did it at a dance festival in North Carolina. We did this one quite a lot, and with different people. But of course, the original cast was always like just the trailblazers, and just really, there's just something so special about that. And so can't thank you guys enough for.
Yeah.
everything.
It was really a special sort of first piece, and we had many more, but you know, it's nice to sort of remember the sort of beginning of it.
Yes, yes, definitely. Well, before we go out, I have a couple more little slide things I'll show here at the end, but remember to look for, this is the Vimeo on demand thing where you can find this collection of pieces. So it's towards the end of February, so some of the ones that are currently up will be rotating out, and I'll probably put, I know I will put some new ones up. I pulled off some other things just the other day, so in March there'll be some new ones on there, so be sure and check that out. Also the other thing we have coming up is, I've been doing it just like Nicole said, she was teaching from her home. I've been teaching some dance from my home. So that's been happening, and we have a new March and April series coming up. So look into that as well. So again, thank you both so very much for joining me today. And I'm just going to send us out with the last couple of little slides. And if you all want to, I will try to be more prompt about setting up the notices for the future vintage JFD shows. Somebody commented, Jane, you get a little bit last minute about these. So from now on, I'm going to try to be a little bit better about giving folks warning. But if friends did miss this today, it will be on the Facebook Live videos. So thank you, everybody, so much, and we will see you soon. I'm just going to take us out with a couple of little things. Here we go.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.